This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined for the first time, might I add, by the problem, Michael McKinson, unbeaten welterweight. What a danger man, boogie man, avoided man. How are you, sir?
That's it, all three of them. Yeah, I'm very well.
Good stuff, good stuff. We were just speaking briefly off, I say off camera, it was off camera before we started, about your life in the second lockdown and the first lockdown. Very, very boring question that I've asked everybody throughout the year. So since it's the first time we've done an interview, I might as well ask you how your 2020 has been with the lockdown and the like.
My 2020 was awful. I was due to fight in April, and then all of this pandemic happened, and that fight got scrapped, I think, three weeks before. So I was more or less nearly at fight date when that got cancelled. Then I got offered to fight midway through the pandemic at 3 different weights. So I went into another training camp. 3 different dates got cancelled, scrapped. Then the opponent was Paddy Gallagher. He didn't want it in the end. And then finally, big shout out to my management team, MTK, for getting me out in October, because I was squinting to them and I was throwing my toys out of my pram for quite a while. Like, you need to get me something. You need to get me something. And they finally, because I'm not being funny, I'm lucky to even fight this year. Like, whoever has fought this year are lucky to be able to, you know. So yeah, big love to MTK.
As you rightly say there's a lot of fighters. I mean, you look at some world champions or world level fighters haven't even been able to get out this year. So yeah, you are right. Any fighter who does get out this year should be very grateful, and any promoter putting on shows deserves credit. For you, in the stage of your career, because one of the reasons we're doing this interview is I'm forever seeing your name on social media when it comes to avoided men. Nobody's calling out Michael McKinson. Considering the way that your career has gone so far, by your own admission, you've struggled to get fights. How frustrating has this year been for you?
It's been really frustrating, because last November I boxed an unbeaten 17-0, I think he was 17-0, Argentinian guy called Luis Ferron, and he was ranked 6th in the world by the WBO at the time. And I beat him looking good with ease. So I went into 2020 with high hopes, like in a good position. This year's going to change my life type thing, and all of this happened. So it is really frustrating. It is really frustrating. But on the plus side, I'm still in that position I was last year, and hopefully all of this stops real soon, and 2021 is the year I change my life and my daughter's life.
Now, I don't know what I was going to expect doing this interview. Obviously, it's the first time that we've spoke. I've seen you fight before. The way that you fight is certainly very appealing. From our conversation before we started, and from these couple of minutes we've done now, you know, you're engaging, you're funny, you've got personality. Why do you think that those things aren't translating into getting these guys, the domestic guys, in the ring with you?
Because I'm the type of guy, if you watch me fight, like, I'm always in. You look on paper before the fights, 50-50 fights. Oh, this is the guy that could beat me every time. But when I'm in there, I make it look easy every time. And it's not as if I'm making bad fighters look bad. I'm making good fighters look bad. So the big names on the big platform, why would they want to fight me? Because I'm going to make them look bad, you know? But I deserve my chance more than any single one of them. Like, I really do. I've been in the top 10 in the UK for 3 years. I think something like 5 of my last 6 opponents have like a record of 50-something fights and like 3 losses or 4 losses. 60 fights, 4 losses, something like that. I've got the best CV, other than the top 2, Khan and Brook. I've got the best CV in the UK. And that is a fact. But yet, they're still boycotting my name. Like, I always see like people on their interviews and on their social medias, and my name's never mentioned. They want to mention the main ones, Congo, Kelly, Ben. They want to mention them and the new boy on the block, MARKU. But my name's never mentioned. So I am the boogeyman in that whole division, you know? Like, I just want my fair shout, because I deserve something big more than any of them, and yet I'm still not getting mentioned.
You're number 6 with the WBO. Now, you're kind of in that stage where you'd be forgiven, as it were, to kind of pursue world titles at this point in your career. You're top six with a governing body. Is that what you want to do, or do you really want those domestic fights? Because there's a big pool of talent, as you mentioned, at 147 pounds.
Yeah, so I was struggling to get any domestic people to fight me. So that's like last year I boxed an unknown, dangerous Russian and then an unbeaten Argentinian. And I don't think half of the guys over here would have took them fights, but I was pushed into a corner. Like, I beat them both, but I wanted to cement myself as one of the best in the UK. Like, I am. Everyone knows I am. But I would like to fight one of them guys before. Like, the last guy, Martin Harkin, he was top 10, dangerous. He was unbeaten. But granted, he wasn't a Josh Kelly, a Conor Benn, a Congo, So it would be good if I could get, I'd say there's 5 names in the UK. And if them 5 names I can't get next, I don't want any of the others. And that's no disrespect to any of the others, but what's it going to do me any good fighting them now? So I'm in a good, if I can't get them 4 or 5 names, I've got that WBO position right now. There's some real good names in the WBO. I will pursue that one if I can't get any of the domestic ones.
Just picking it straight back up there, interrupted by Amazon. Shout out Amazon every time. Mikey, we were talking about the top 5 domestic rivals for yourself at welterweight without you in the top 5. Who are those 5 names and how would you rank them?
I think Josh Kelly's the most talented. Take Brook and Khan out of it. I don't know if they'll ever compete at welterweight again. I don't know. But Josh Kelly's the most talented. I think Chris Congo's the most dangerous. Then there's obviously Jenkins, who's the British champion, and Ben. They're sort of on sort of par with each other, I believe. Like Chris Congo, for example, I'd rank him as number 2, but he's only ever had 150-50, So, but he's a dangerous fighter. Then I'd say probably number 3, Ben. 4 Jenkins, the British champion, and 5. Wow, I don't think MARKU should even be mentioned in that 5. It's just because of his profile. He's only 7-0. It's his profile and he's trying to call out these big names. It's like he's jumped to the front of the queue, So I don't even believe he should be even talking in the same sort of category as them guys, but I'd rank him at the bottom.
You mentioned Florian Marku. One of the things from this week, as we saw him and Chris Congo, another name that you mentioned on that list, potentially discussing a fight on 3-4 days' notice. As we know in boxing, things like that rarely ever happen. What was your thoughts on the whole situation?
Well, do you know, any fighter, how would you take a fight at 147? Chris Congo's a big guy. How would you take a fight at 147 on 4 days' notice? I know I wouldn't be able to, if that fight got offered to me without any training, I would have took that fight on 3 days' notice, but I wouldn't have made the weight. I'll beat him on 3 days' notice, but I definitely wouldn't make 147. So you can understand why, what it is. But I see Congo offered 150 to fight him at 150. Why not? If you want to call out these big names and prove you're a good fighter, and Congo's offering it only £3 above, why not do that? Instead, he's fighting somebody that's 2-0 now, I think. He's going to get slated for that because he's trying to call out all of the big names, except me. He's going to get slated, for that, you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. I don't think he should be getting mentioned alongside our names. Well, yeah, alongside these sort of names, anyway, until he proves himself.
Saw Chris Congo come out and say he's not going to be fighting Florian Marku, as you mentioned there. Florian's now fighting, I forgot the guy's name, who beat Mick Hennessy Jr.
Stewart.
That's it, Jamie Stewart. Just boxing him this weekend with a view to potentially fighting. Chris Congo's name's been mentioned. Ryland Charlton's name's been mentioned. You correctly say that your name hasn't been mentioned. What can we expect to see from you? When are you looking to return to the ring? Because MTK have started putting on great shows again post-lockdown. You must be eyeing a date. Yeah,
that's it. I boxed on an MTK show in October. I want to be out 3 times 2021. I want to be out 3 times. Like I said, I'm training quite hard now. My weight's pretty good. because I want to stay on top of my weight. I want to stay like healthy because my name is in the pot, UK and in the world really, to be able to get an opportunity. And I'm not going to get an opportunity on 10, 12 weeks notice, am I? Let's face it. So I've got to stay ready. I've got to stay healthy. But I'd like to be out, realistically, February time, because I'm a young 26. Like, I'm still on the climb, like, quickly as well. So who knows where my career can be in the next 2 years. You know, so I'd like to be out 3 times this year, and I'd like them to be 3 really good fights. But I am a diva, and I do have a cry. But yeah, I completely have faith in MTK of guiding my career now. You know, I've proven time and time again that I am one of the better ones. So who knows where we could be next year?
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. I mean, we were just talking about Florian Marku and the fact that, you know, he needed an opponent on 3 or 4 days' notice. If you're in and around the weight, maybe not in and around 147 or championship weight if you've not got a fight, but it will make things a lot easier, particularly for somebody like you who has struggled to get opportunities to get these guys in the ring. Yeah,
like in my career, I started my 10 first pro fights. I had a little bit of sponsorship, but I was still working for the first 3 years of my career. I was winning titles while still at work, you know, and that was tough. I didn't own a...
What were you doing, if you don't mind me asking?
I was working as a campaign manager in a marketing company.
Oh, you know? Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I was, for example, when I fought Ryan Martin, my first training camp, I was a new dad, so I had a newborn at home. I was waking up at 4 a.m. to train, home and done before 6:30. Go to work all day, come home, train before going home, and as well as the times I'm away sparring here, there, and then get home, my newborn baby girls. So I'd missed everything for the first 3 months, more or less. You know what I mean? That was tough. I didn't earn a penny for my first 10 pro fights because I couldn't really sell a ticket. Like now, City, shout out Portsmouth, because City really get behind me nowadays, and they come in numbers as well. So I can't wait for supporters to come back to shows, because we will take over again. Yeah, I've just had it hard, and to get where I am now, I've had to do it the hard way. I've had to take every opportunity given to me. My first title I won on the road. I've boxed. Former European champion, British champion, Colin Lyons in just my 12th fight. Of international unbeaten guys, former GB standouts. All of these people in the boxing world, people think I'm going to lose at this and all that. And I've beaten with ease every single time. There's not really much else I can do my end to warrant a big fight, like a life-changing type fight. Because I deserve it more than anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, I really do.
You mentioned Portsmouth. I just want to pick up on that, because there's a lot of fighters coming from kind of that part of the world now, Portsmouth, Southampton and nearby kind of areas. Enough that you would expect, you know, when fans come back, when crowds come back, for some great events down there on the South Coast.
Yeah, I haven't actually boxed in Portsmouth since I stopped Colin Lyons 3 years ago. A lot of boxing in the capital and stuff like that now, but I really truly believe I can bring big nights back to Portsmouth. Like at the moment, there's a real good set of talent coming through from Portsmouth, but I am the flag carrier at the moment for boxing in Portsmouth. So like I really do believe I can bring big nights back. Like I've got a goal in my career. To fight on Fratton Park, like that is a goal of mine, you know, and it is doable. I just want it to happen before my career's over.
End up having to have like a white collar fight there in your late 30s or something,
or me being 50 years old trying to get my license back. Just to Fratton Park.
Hey, it's never too late. Look, we just saw Roy Jones and Mike Tyson. Don't rule anything out.
That's it.
Okay, Mikey, before I let you go, just want to get your opinion on the big heavyweight fight this weekend, Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev. What are your thoughts on the fight this weekend?
I think like Pulev, he's inactive. He's boxed what 3 times in the last 3 or 4 years. The best win on his record is Chisora on a split decision. He beat Fury, but Chisora. And the only genuine world-class fighter he has been in with was years and years ago when he got knocked out by Klitschko. He's 40 years old, 39, 40 years old. I think maybe the first 2 rounds would be quite cagey, and then I think Joshua will definitely get him out of there mid-rounds. I'm going to say Joshua KO at round 5.
It's sort of very similar to how I see the fight going, actually. I think something 5-8, somewhere like that. I think Joshua will look good. Mr. McKinson, the problem. Thank you very much for speaking to Boxing Social. It's the first time we've done this. I very much hope it's not the last. And hopefully the next time I see you, it's going to be plastered all over a fight poster and you've got yourself a big fight sorted for 2021. But thank you very much for speaking to Boxing Social. And I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Brilliant. I just want to say a big shout out to my sponsors for sticking by me this year. It's been a hard year for everyone and they still believe in me and they're still by my side. So a big shout out to my sponsors, CGS Gas Services, Re-Up Worldwide, because without them I can't do what I do. And a big shout out to Portsmouth too. Big nights 2021.
Always remember to thank your sponsors. Very good. Mikey the Problem, McKinson, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you very much. Cheers.